free. And now you perceive, she said, Lagos City's football club. Finally, after emergence since the takeover from one All Stars, one more eco relegation, they will not be part of the elite football in Ghana the next season moving forward. And here she said, but what happened to Lagos Cities? Flamboyance are almost the bar league, you know, big money names are almost top bar, almost team num, extravagant things you won't so yeah. Then all of a sudden, Lagos Cities comes down to zilch. Dear in power and in your estimation, a two-side team here and a omco relegation.
I think so. There are two teams there. Idea almost initial mobile. I think the ball tell you my granting taxes from the beginning. Some almost spending and catch a man for say there's a difference between when you just brand the team. The team has had a certain performance as other branded team. No? But Lagos City never had that performance. But because we lack color, any bites more, everybody no you almost will be at there. Say team about branding, almost Tobas way. So sometimes difficult to come from the other side. So the team had no structure. So Lagos City was just like an old building, I walk to our attention without proper renovation, over blocking all the cracks, all the cracks that you also Lagos City is a big crack, but nobody was interested in that. We were interested in the artists they were doing. We were interested in Nyama Justice Omuniba, the Royal Girls Omuniba, Lagos Knights Omuniba Stadium, and over here the order of the day, without looking at the main structure, the amount of investment. So there's a way we run a club where the club was well established. One of the case study, one of them, Benford, we injected some amount of liquidity into the players, made money out of the players, and that is how things are run. But Lagos City had no plan, they had no philosophy. You can remember, 2-3 seasons ago, just two seasons ago, even salary became a problem. So it tells you, say, now we should need backup in terms of sky, normally run a club. So the club was not run on any proper structure. No scientific research was done. How we are going to sustain the IA, Into the IA, to say maybe a call rally, politicians kind of team now on the IA. So once the team is not work plan, Okosus are mostly over the stage we now because last year they are salary deficit. I think this year to there's some little bit of salary deficit. Sign money excitement and calamity by once we are sustaining excitement, normally a petty or physiological and psychological outcome because any year or muti or muni by or mobile and to say who is married want to be single and who is single want to be married. But when you get home as a married person, there are laws governing you. When you're a single person, laws doesn't govern you. You can do anything, but you don't have somebody who will take care of you. Those are two different things. So that is exactly what happened to Lagos City. So they had no financial plan. They had no financial investment rest of the team. So they couldn't manage it.
Pacho, that is fine. You've spoken about the branding and its sustainability and all that. But they brought in some of the good coaches we had in Ghana. At a point, they brought in Bashir Reford. At a point, they brought in Maxwell Kunedu. They even brought in Pakwesi Febin recently. Norm Sankofa, a Serbian new coach, be Bogdanovic, and then a buyer. In terms of players, they brought almost every player now, what Pejani Mu Ghana. Even brought us Samoa Jan. The big question is whether it was the right decision or not. But they brought him, big names. Jonah Tukwe, they bought him over $50,000 at the time from Brekum Chelsea. They brought him Michael Ampedu from Liberty when he rejected offers from big clubs at the time. Obora Utimwa, no Abefa, a big name, but it couldn't yield the results that they needed.
Yeah, so sometimes were they the players they needed, or because they had the money to splash? At a point in time, there was a Samoa, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it could have been for marketing purpose. They're signing a Samoa could have been 100% right for marketing purpose. But for playing purpose, there was no signing a Samoa. But if it was for commercial, on and off the field, it was a very good thing. How do we attract the supporters? Maybe to our Twitter or X handle, our Facebook. Maybe we need to boost the accounts by bringing him in, but not for performance-wise, because you saw how many games he played. So if signings somewhere, no, so you can do big signings, but are the big signings that you need? Because big signings go with big management and big ego. The salary goes the same way. So resulting by we are set up. So bringing us someone that believing say you have the goals never came. So frustration. So how do we sign players and why do we sign players? So there's how and why we sign players. Why do you want to sign a particular player? Because this particular player can give me this. But you can sign good players from different teams. If you're not able to put them together, over to your problem. So Lagos City as a team came to sign players so that they'll pull the crowd and show off. So it was more of a show-off team than a proper structured plan team. And in the economy, all the players you mentioned are great players or were great players in their various clubs. But those clubs, they play with somebody. Telepathy Kunedu struggled there. I think all the coaches have come because Marshall was working with Coach Bashir. Marshall was working with TJ. The last assistant coach for House of Fuku has returned back to Lagos City. So it was a team that came with flashy things, but it was not properly structured. So whatever happened to Lagos City can happen to any club. If I always tell people, Jason and other things are clothes. If you look at any brand in Mawa, the people who must wear the brand must be of a certain quality. The people who wear the brand into quality member and you're able to put them together as a team. Normally, that is what happens to you. So Lagos City has been a case study for all of us to study that the money that goes out, because the scanning call in the first 2 years, and you can't pay salary in a few years. Whereas after you owe players 3-4 months, it is quite a difficult thing.
Wow. So can we conclude that the Lagos City's project was mismanaged or it totally lacked a sporting direction?
Yes, it lacks direction. It lacks big direction because it was not well structured. Because anytime we are teams, anytime we have football team and you want to sustain yourself, you must have a budget that will keep you the next 5 years. So when you go to Ali, for instance, we are in 2025. Ali has a budget to 2030. So that budget will either decrease or increase, and mostly they go for increase. So if they spend $2 million this year, they do projection of $3 million in the next 4 years to come. We don't do that. It is not only Lagos City. We don't do financial projection into the future using inflation and using how inflation is going to affect the next season. So imagine the amount of money you spend this year is $1 million. Next year, you might not spend $1 million. You might not spend $1 million. You might spend more, maybe $1.5 million. So if you have $1 million, that can run the team for 1 year. And you have $2 million, that means you can run it for 2 years. Once the $2 million is finished, and you don't sell any player to pay, then you're in trouble. Until they're seeing in short, with the current perspective, they didn't have any plan, they didn't have any idea. They only thought the money was just going to come. Football, football and to say party. Football, according to say program, we are obin to Chawushi. And now, what a year cashier, when you don't have that kind of friends who will be able to give you 10,000 Ghana, 20,000 Ghana. Once you don't have that kind of friends, you don't do that kind of football. They came in and they flashed the money, and there was nowhere on the return this canoe. Most of the time, the money must come from the sponsors and the player sales. As you say, Lagos City to player, $5 million, $2 million. You will not be able. They will not be where they are today. So it's pure mismanagement and misdirection.
Finally, before I be more Kono, maybe just two quick ones. What does the future hold for Lagos Cities following their relegation and the fact that even if they want to play in the second tier, they must go to Zone 1 to play?
Yeah, they must go to Zone 1 to play, and that makes it difficult. That zone, apart from the difficulty in playing, right now you must go and reside in Wa. I think you must go and reside up north, because you can't be here and be traveling all the time to go and play. So it means you change. So you saw the effect he had on Wafa. He had on Wafa when they wanted to play in Zone 3. So they'll go there, and I feel if we don't have anybody who is financially strong that will be an era and the end of a club like Lagos City. We might not see them again. They might go into oblivion, or they will be missing in action, because once the team is relegated and you must go to that zone 1, once you get to that zone 1, then the team cannot train in Accra and maybe play whether 11 Wonders for RTU or any of the clubs of the Bofokwa. You can't be in Accra and be playing all the time. So it means you must relocate the players. And finances look like it's one of the biggest problems. So how do you relocate a problem? If nobody, no investor gets it right, then it's going to be difficult for them. So we might not, if you are not careful and nobody comes with big money, we might not see Lagos City again.
Wow. If I said four teams are almost occupy the current top spots of the Ghana Premier League table. Nations, Gold Stars, Kotoko, Hearts of Lions. Quickly, Mbacho, why are your favorite to win the Premier League?
I think my favorite now is Nations.
Wow.
Nations are my favorite. Michipino for the top 4 initially. Initially, I was rooting for Heart of Lions. So they lost that game to Nations. Who said, Usha records now, Nations are winning more away games.
Yes.
And you know, in Ghana Premier League, the team, if you have more away win, you automatically wins the league.
The reason that I be on top of the table now.
Yes. Nations rather had a problem losing some 2 home games. It would have had 2 home games so far. It's all we need. That will go. I was like, I made a real league, but today I'm in a Kasa. I can make a real league.
Yeah.
Nations not a game, and they are one of the amounted one of the huge points in the last few years. Our Ghana Premier League now. One way more points. I still also just of the league, no. But
wow.
when you look at the fixtures, now, Nations week way or Samates. Home. And only one of the biggest tests are Nations. Certainly from after beating Lagos City. If they win that game, nothing will change the top. They will definitely win the league, even though they have
but after that game, they have a trip to Holy Stars.
Yes, but because they are good away team, that is why I'm not doubting them rather for away. I'm doubting them for a home game rather. It doesn't mean they will work on everybody on away game, but they've been good away players than good home team this particular season. Even matches as well, but the average here, I would say, they will be able to do that. So, notwithstanding anything, if you look at all the fixtures, nobody have a soft feature. We can because of Bibiani. Bibiani is also a contender. Kotoko is also a contender of the league. I always say Kotoko good record or dance back.
Sure.
Kotoko good record or dance back. So, are we playing by the record, or we are going to play by their current form? In analysis, sometimes it's always dicey. Good record favors Kotoko to win that game. Current form favors Bibiani Gold Stars to win the game. Either side who wins the game will see how an effect of the league. If it's a draw game and Nations win this particular game, it is more of a chance for Nations to win the league. But out of Lions, Kotoko, anybody can win the league, but I will vie for Nations to win the league.
It's always amazing talking to you. We always get educated, and we are grateful that you joined us, Coach Vincent Abiwu. Nyamisha Obibri.
That's it.
Yeah, very intelligent man, eh? Very, very intelligent. Insightful submissions from our resource person, Chris Vincent Abiwu. All right, 47 minutes past 9 a.m., 22nd of May, 20.